Hello, everybody. I'm Mickey. I am not your mama's minister, and today I posted something on Facebook on my personal page, not on this page, and it was a meme that somebody else had posted, a different page had posted, and I commented, and so I'm going to go ahead and read. So the meme said, "Do sweet guys like this actually exist?" And it shows a text message of, "It sucks, man. I literally love her so much that I don't find other girls attractive anymore. Like, I just want her. Physically and emotionally, she's all I fucking want." So I then shared that and I included the comment, long comment. "This is not sweet. This is not romantic. This is obsessive. This is mental illness. There are billions of people on this planet, but I expect or want or would be okay with someone finding nobody else in the world attractive except for me. Physically and emotionally being entirely dependent on only me. Guess who that person is? An infant. That's right. Infants are entirely emotionally and physically dependent on their caregivers. Adults, well, we should be able to recognize that we have shit tons of influences in our lives, friends, family, strangers, coworkers, etc., and that being this obsessive over one person means that this is a huge cross for that person to bear." So I kind of wanted to address that because I got some private messages from loved ones that were not too happy with me. So here's my take on that. I totally understand. Like when Suicide Squad came out, I was seeing all of these memes of Joker and Harley, and people were saying, "I want to love like that." Or, Romeo and Juliet. We can go back even further and talk about obsessive love. And here's my take, and this is just my take. And I am coming from an entirely spiritual point of view because for me, the spiritual aspect of all of my relationships are far more important than anything else, including sex. And I think most of you that follow my page and most of you that know me personally know that sex is a big deal to me. So, my take on it is that I would much rather have my partner be realistic, and I understand that everybody feels differently and everybody thinks differently, and so I certainly don't expect everybody to think like I do, but I just want people to step outside themselves for a bit, just like with everything else, and say, maybe this would work better for me. Much of my clientele comes from obsessive love. And so I get it. I completely understand where that obsessive love comes from. I understand that we want to be number one with somebody. We want to be the most important thing. We want them to turn aside anything else or anybody else and put us first. And that is I wouldn't say necessarily that is uh, human nature, but I do think that it is part of many people's human experience is that they don't feel like they've gotten that they've gotten to be number one, and so they want that, they want to be number one. um, and so I understand where that point is coming from. So here is my point. I don't want a partner who is blindly obsessed with me. I want a partner who, if we see somebody good looking on the side of the street, he or she is going to turn and say, "Ooh, hubba hubba." And I'm going to say, "Oh, yeah, hubba hubba," or, "Oh, not my type," or whatever. I want that person to be able to say, "There are billions of people on the face of this planet, and you are not the most beautiful, and you are not the most intelligent, and you are not the most talented, and you are not number one in any of those things. I am not first in any of those things." But then my partner following it up with, "But your combination, nobody else has that. No one else has the combination that makes up Mickey. And so I don't care how beautiful those people may be, and I don't care how talented they may be. Right now, at this point in my life, there is nobody that I would rather be with." And that is because with that being said, it tells me that it doesn't matter that I'm not the most beautiful, and it doesn't matter that I'm not the most talented, and it doesn't matter that I'm not the most intelligent person that he or she may know. And yet, all of those things put together that make up who I am, that's what is appealing to them right then. It's just like when we sit there and we say, we're going to be together forever. I will love you forever. And that is such a huge promise. And it is such a huge promise that many times doesn't work. And so then afterwards, both people feel bad because one, the promise has been broken, and two, it's just such a weight. It is just such a weight because instead of that, having somebody say to me, I don't know how long it's going to last. It might last for a couple of hours, it might last for a couple of years, and it might last until we're both buried in the ground. And but right now, there is nobody else with no other combination, with no other beauty, no other intelligence, no other talent that I would rather be with than you. And so that is what I consider to be romantic. And that's not to say that the other things are not romantic for that person. But like I said, more often than not, when I get somebody that comes to me because of a lover or romantic relationship, it is due to that. It is due to that all or nothing. I have to have all of them or I don't want any of them. And that's, let's face it, that is part of abusive relationships. That is part of cult mentality, is the idea to get everybody else out of their life, to get everybody, to get them to turn away from everybody else so that they can just belong to you. They can just, I have breadcrumbs on my chest. They have, they are just going to be connected to you, and then you get to own them. And I don't want to own anybody. That's not my thing. And babies need their caregivers to be the end all be all for them. But even as we get older, just a little bit older, then it becomes necessary for other influences and for that baby to love those other people, and for that baby to, or that child to, experience what it's like to have these different kinds of relationships that all contribute to their well-being. They all contribute to them. I have a shit ton of friends that each of them plays a role in my life. I have a shit ton of family members that each of them plays a role in my life. I don't expect any of them to be the end all, be all or nothing for me. And, like I said, I don't care what you're doing. You do you. If that is your idea of romance, is that it's just, this little core, that it's just the two of you, then more power to you. I hope that you're able to expand that to include children. I know that when I was young, my mother once told me, because I came to her and complained about my dad scolding me or something like that, and she said, don't ever come to me to complain about your dad, because I will always choose him over you guys. And that was such a shock for me, because I thought, but I came out of your vagina, woman. And I didn't say that. I would have been grounded for like a year, but it was a very, very big shock for me, because I don't know what that would feel like, to sit there and say, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what is going on. I am always going to take this person's side. My daughter teases me because even though my kids know how important they are to me, my grandkids know how important they are to me, my son-in-law and my daughter, if they get into a debate, sometimes I do agree with my son-in-law, and I will straight out say that. And it doesn't take away how important my daughter is to me, and it doesn't take away how much I love her and how vital she is to who I am. But I am not going to sit there and negate any of my other relationships because of my intense feelings for her. And that's I guess that's the point that I'm trying to get to, is that we have all sorts of relationships during our lifetime. Unless you're, growing up in a cave somewhere with nobody and no other living creatures, then we all have that emotional attachment to various people in our lives. And so putting all of your eggs in one basket, when it comes to interpersonal relationships, can be very, very dangerous and very unpleasant and very obsessive. Because for me, that meme was not romantic at all, obviously, with what I commented. I don't want a lover to say to me, "You are my everything," because that is immediately going to say, "Oh my goodness, well, I'm going to, I'll talk to you later." Because that is so much, it is a cross to bear. It is a heavy cross to bear when you are everything to somebody. So I think that might be it. I just wanted to kind of address that and point out that, we've got a lot of people in our lives. We don't have to own the people that we love. It's okay for them to have other friends. It's okay for them to find other people attractive, and to recognize that we are not, um, this glorious perfection, and still sit there and say, you know what? It doesn't matter what anybody else looks like, or that they might be more attractive or anything like that. You're the one that I want. There is nobody else like you, and you're the one that I want. So I just almost started singing the song from Greece, actually. And I think that's it. And many blessings, much love, and I will talk to you. Oh, yeah, don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and comment. All right, I will talk to you later.